I still would. 5 days ain't gonna cut it.
5 days. You know? I was in the heart of it in 5 days.
Exactly, and that's where I feel like, I don't want to say misinformation. I'm not a doctor, or anything like that. But for me, I would just, my recommendation is if you have loved ones, you have people that you care about, take as much time as you need to get to a point where you feel safe, because what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man? What is going on? We are back. I had a brain fart right there. You know what else I also noticed is I'm not wearing my watch, so I feel naked. So I apologize to everybody watching if this comes off awkward, right? When you feel
just off balance, right?
Yeah, when you feel a little, but I'm not getting sponsored to wear my watch, but I just like to have a little. I like to have a little balance.
It keeps you grounded. Keeps
I like
you
to have a little balance. But it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. We haven't been able to come together and have this opportunity to record and make content and put it out there. So here we are. What are we trying to do today? What are we gonna do today?
So, man, we are going to share our experiences with a common,
a very common
now situation. It includes some quarantine time. It includes
a whole lot of quarantine.
It includes a whole lot of symptoms. And so we're going to share our experiences, both of our experiences through that.
Yeah, through that. And it's funny because if you watch our
the evidence is there.
Yes. Yeah. If you watch the episode, when I was watching it, I was just like, oh,
there it is.
Everybody's gonna die.
Outbreak. That's what it was. It was a freaking outbreak.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna die. You can see, man. And I'm gonna be curious to see how many people can
pick up on it, right?
Yeah, can pick up on it, and it's interesting because like even now, in the process where we have lingering effects.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So here we are, weeks and weeks and weeks past the initial situation, and we have all of these lingering effects. It's still in the voice.
Yep.
It's
in the
breathing.
Yeah.
In the lungs.
Yep.
And it's crazy. It's really crazy to see. For me, well, first let's put it out there that this situation, this conversation is coming from two different places, right?
Completely.
So we have one of us who was the smarter and got the poke. Right, and then the poke, and one of us that didn't. We'll leave it up to everybody that's out here to decide who it was. But and again, and that's another thing too, right? Is that when you're watching the news and you're seeing all these things that are happening, there's a lot of varying reactions.
Of course.
So you have people that.
For those who received it and even for those who didn't.
Yeah, for those, and right. Even then, within those two subgroups, there's still a lot of varying reactions. A lot of people were thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my jab, and like I'm gonna be perfectly fine,
carefree, no mask, no nothing, I'm good."
And they're not, you know. And then you have some people that didn't, and then they were fine,
yep.
And it's just crazy. But really, like when we talked about, making this episode, and it's just about giving people our perspective. And again, this is just our perspective and our experience, with dealing with the situation, but it's not going to be the same for everybody, but hopefully it will ease some people's minds, in the situation, so that they're not terrified of everything that's happening, and especially like when I was looking at the news and going through like all of the December news and everything else, and all these flights that are being canceled, and people not coming this and that and whatever.
We have the new variant.
Yes, the new variant, and it's ripping through everybody.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know how you think about it, but I feel that we dealt with the new variant.
I am pretty sure.
I feel like we did, and the only reason why me personally, is because the speed of which everything came on.
That sucker was rapid, bro. Do we want to tell how it started? Because
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I was, for lack of a better, I'm the monkey in Outbreak, right?
It is on file that you tried to kill me.
Yeah, I mean, and we laughed about that because you'll actually see it. I had, go back a few. Go back a few. You can check it out. And you could be like, "Oh, I got it."
That is it. Yes, it's going to be in the resolutions episode. Go rewatch the resolutions.
Man, and I had no idea because we recorded on a Wednesday.
You messaged me on Thursday.
That I tested positive, and I didn't. And I was exposed on
Sunday, I think it was. Yeah.
On Sunday. And so between Sunday and Wednesday, I might have had a little cough, right?
Yeah.
And then you can see in the episode, I'm kind of like,
yeah.
kind of like
a little bit off.
Just like I don't have my watch on.
Like you don't have your watch on.
Yeah, just a little off balance.
Just naked, just a little.
Yeah, just a little off balance. And you can see it, right? Shep was talking away, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
So, man, we sharing in the podcast, talking on mics, coughing in the air, and boom.
And boom.
The next couple days, you was like, I got a little cough.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what was really weird for me, and I think that for you, like your onset, like I feel like you had like kind of like this gradual peak, and then like you went up really sharp and then just came down really sharp.
Yeah.
But for me, it was weird because we recorded on Wednesday.
Yep.
And I was in the middle, like we're still doing the workout thing and like getting in shape, whatever. So Thursday, excuse me, I'm still got in my throat.
Yeah, me too.
But Thursday, I went to go work out, and it was leg day, and I'm not really a fan of leg day, but like I was in the dungeon, as I call it, and I was doing my workout, and I was just lightheaded as fuck. Like I was just like, I don't know what it is, but like I'm trying to get through this workout, and I just like, my head is floating just off into space, and I was like, okay, this is just weird, but I'm gonna go and just finish it. And then by Friday I was sick. I was just sick. I was like, man, this is. But then I was trying to figure out, like, is this in my head because you told, right?
You go through those moments. Because honestly, when I heard, when the person who, was the monkey, the original.
Thanks for that.
The original super spreader.
Thanks for that, asshole. If you're listening.
So the original person, when they said, "Hey, I'm positive," I was like, you start going through your mind and you start picking apart every little thing. Okay, I coughed yesterday. I was sneezing. Okay, what is this little runny nose, right?
Yeah.
And so you start going through all of these things in your mind, and you almost you can create a scenario.
You
know what I'm saying?
You can.
Even though we were fully in it, it's still the mind will begin to kind of create this drama. But before I heard a positive thing, I was going the other way. I was like, no, this is not it.
It can't be.
This can't be it.
It can be.
I've gone a freaking year and a half, 2 years, and have been good, right? And you mean to tell me, no, this can't be it.
Yeah.
Because I've been drinking my teas. I've been, taking my stuff.
Yeah, the whole 9. And that's how I felt too, man. I was just like, how? Like, I've interacted with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of people's faces.
Right.
I've been out a lot of places, and I'm just like, there's no
way that my co-host
that the man.
I mean, we've been sharing the table
for 30 at that time, like 32 episodes. There's no freaking way that I had got this, but man, the onslaught was just terrible because like I said, by Friday, my throat was hurting.
Yeah.
I started getting congested. Mm-hmm. By Saturday, it was a wrap. Like by Saturday, man, like I just couldn't. Mm-hmm. Man, I suffered with the body aches.
Okay.
And normally, like I always just say, like I'm getting old, like like I'm getting old, my joints hurt. But when I say like
it was a different type of.
It was the body aches were real, and so like my eyes, look, my eyes hurt so bad, but it wasn't the visual portion of it so much, but even like my eye muscles, like not sinus pressure, head clogged, like my literal eye muscles were fucking just, I could barely look left or right.
Yeah, I got you.
It was ridiculous. It was so crazy. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like Saturday, I want to say pretty much all of Saturday, I just laid there with a blanket over my head because like I couldn't look left. I couldn't look right. I could barely hold my eyes like straight because there was just so much pain in the eye muscles. And it stayed like that for like 2 days. And I was like, this is miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing was, for me, man, it happened. It seems like every day I dealt with a new thing.
Yeah.
Like mine didn't all come at one big kind of bundle, right? Yeah, I didn't get the one delivery, right? It's like every day, Amazon showed up at the door, right?
Delayed. It get delivered tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess because the holidays, I was getting one package a day.
And
so literally, okay, one day it would be, I'm coughing and I can't stop coughing, and it, and I'm congested, and then the next day I had a couple of days I just had chills, without as much coughing though. But I, now I'm wrapped up in a blanket, big old dude sitting on the sofa, wrapped up in a blanket, and and I looked at, okay, so my son and I both had it. Okay, so my wife is out of the house, and so he and I, mind you, he's still in school, virtual school. So I'm trying to get him through, because he's like, I'm good. So I'm having to make sure he's good, make sure he's in school, getting everything together with him, and I'm feeling like crap, and every day, like I said, every day was something else. His was completely different. Couple of days he may have been a little tired, a little sluggish, and boom, he was back to it.
Right.
But he never really had thank God, he never had the effects. And one of the things too, I know we're laughing, and we realize that it's a huge thing,
It's
right?
serious, yeah.
A lot of
serious
people
thing.
have lost their lives, and a lot of people are struggling and on ventilators. And I thank God, that we didn't have that.
100%.
So it's definitely been with the shot or without the shot, both of them we still
did all right.
We still did all right,
Yeah.
And so just had to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I mean for sure, but I mean that's it. We can get back to the code. Almost, yeah, messed up there. We can get back. We can get back to those stories there in a minute. But the thing about that, though, when you talk about the severity,
Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
That's how it started.
Round 2. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, don't play with it. Because this new one is crazy.
This new one is crazy. And that's the thing, though, where I think that a lot of people need to understand, like partial of it, right, is that this new version extremely
It's
contagious.
Yeah, of course.
Extremely contagious, but definitely a lot lighter. So I hope that people don't necessarily fear it as much. Again, we talked about, we don't want to instill that fear, and that's why we kind of laugh about these things here, because it is a little bit lighter, in the situations. But I think that when we talk about our reactions and everything in dealing with it, a lot that doesn't get talked about publicly when in regards to the situation, but also with us, is that taking care of yourself is huge.
It's vital.
And I'm very curious to see how, well, I'm not curious to see, I don't want to know how we would have fared, but when you think about how would we have fared had we not been in a position where we're taking care of ourselves, right? So like, obviously, like, I mean, you were part of the workout thing, and you have, you got your little start, stop, but I've been doing my workout thing consistently all the way up until that point, being healthy, making healthy food choices, having the vitamins and everything else, right? People have talked about it forever, but vitamin D. So vitamin D, people, get out and get your sun. Take your vitamins. That's super important with that. But had we not been doing all of those things,
who knows
how bad, right, it would have been.
Right.
And it allowed us to kind of push through and fight this a little bit better for that. I mean, that's huge, and I don't think that's put out there enough.
Right.
Right.
Because it's important, man. We I started, I guess, at the beginning of this, right? In 2020, early when in the onslaught of it, right?
Yeah.
And started looking at different things that help with circulation and natural things, right? That help with circulation, that would help build up your immunity, so forth and so on, and all of those kind of things. And I began to use turmeric and sea moss and the vitamins and all of those different kind of things, right? And began to look at some natural things that have, well, a year and a half, almost 2 years, worked pretty well, right?
For sure.
And even in the midst of it, I found that only the reason I did take medicine, but the only reason I was taking the medicine is because I had a headache that was just like,
ridiculous. Yeah.
Right. And so I would take that for the headache, and it would reduce the headache. But for everything else, I was still drinking, warm liquids, hot teas, with these different things in it. Right. And it would open up my chest. The old school Vicks, rub that on your chest.
Slathering on,
Humidifier, all of those kind of things were really great for me in trying in kind of helping through the process, the breathing process, right?
Right, for sure.
And then, like you said, getting out and sitting on the porch. Like, I didn't go anywhere, we were kind of chilling, but I would go walk outside and just let the sun just hit you for a second.
Yeah, get them D-rays.
And that would, it really would give you some energy, and so, so those are some of the things that I know I did, just to, just to
get better,
get through it, man.
And those are huge, and those things are huge, man. And again, like I said, it's not spoke about enough. We talk about, everybody needs to go out there and get jabbed. Everybody needs to go out there and get their add-ons and their boosters and everything else. And we don't talk about, making sure that, you are getting your fresh air, you are getting your sun, you are getting your supplements, you are doing things that are keeping your body healthy and sharp. Because it's important. We talk about the effects on the older people, the overweight people, the people with, outlying conditions and things like that. And there's some things that you're not going to be able to help.
Yeah.
Obviously, but there are a ton of things that you can do, to help alleviate that. And, everybody that's out here that's watching these things, you can do. Maybe make that part of your resolution, right? What are you going to do to be healthier,
right?
To be better, to maybe change, a little bit. And you don't have to, if you can't afford to do it all, you can't afford to buy all the supplements, you can't afford to buy whatever, do what you can.
Yes, but do something.
Yeah, moving around, working out.
Right.
It's free. You don't need a ton of equipment.
Right.
You don't need a ton of things to do it.
Right.
But just try to be a little bit healthier, because I think it does help. It does help for sure, because when you're going through this process, like we've gone through this process, it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of you.
Man, we're still there though.
Yeah.
There's still not a full recovery.
You don't know how long it's going to
right.
even be, right? And that's the crazy thing. And like for me, physically, it took a lot out of me. I will say I'm happy, because part of this this workout process is we're getting ready to enter the cut phase. so
there's a disguised blessing.
Yes, there's a disguised blessing in the fact that I've dropped some pounds. I'm probably looking real frail to some previous episodes, but like even then, like I want to say I've probably come down 8-9 pounds.
Yeah, I lost 6.
Yeah, just in that process.
But it's not even, I don't necessarily even see it on the scale. I feel it in my clothes. So 6 pounds on the scale, but when it comes down to, just how my clothes are fitting, so forth and so on, there was some stuff that was like, dang, 10 days. Really?
Yeah.
10 days?
It happened quick. It happened very quick.
That's why we need the bottle.
Miracle. Just take all the other effects out.
Take the effects out, and let's bottle that weight loss serum, man. That
is great. And I look at that as a positive, because now I'm like, okay, well, now that I have it off, I need to keep it off.
Yep.
And how can I keep it off?
Crazy thing, bro. My there's a reset in my because me and through the last 2 years, snacking and, sitting around the house and just kind of doing this and that. That has actually kind of been shifted. Like my whole appetite has changed. It's not as, eager, as it was before, which is okay.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm starving myself or any of those kind of things, but I don't have to have the things that I was craving before.
Yeah.
So even that clock has kind of been reset, for me. And so there's a positive even in that, with everything that we're doing, everything we're trying to be more healthy, so forth and so on. Some of this other stuff has kind of been eliminated because I no longer even need it.
No, for sure. I can agree with that, and I see it in how I was eating. But I will say, like, what really did it was like there was a point in time from like that Saturday when I got really bad. Like I had no appetite for probably 3 days. It's probably like that Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like I didn't eat, and I wasn't starving.
Right.
Maybe because my body was eating itself. I don't.
You know what? Honestly, you can go without eating for a while.
Yes.
It's the liquid that you need.
It's the liquid
right?
that you need.
You know,
for
if
sure,
you put in the
for
water,
sure.
in if you're hydrating yourself, you can go without eating.
Oh, 100%. And it was weird, but it was weird though. Like I didn't have any appetite. But yeah, I was heavy on the liquids. But I will say for me, that kind of fucked me up in a sense is like, and also too, like it was weird. Like I know, and cause like obviously we had texts, you know, back and forth
we're
a little
comparing
bit.
notes.
Comparing our notes to see how we are through this thing, you know, and me, I'm just stubborn. Like I didn't want to take anything. I wanted to just ride this whole thing out and see how bad it got and how severe it got. But it was like really, really weird because I got real feverish at one point. So I want to say like when I finally broke down, and because for whatever reason, for me, whenever I go up against something or I feel whatever, like if my mind is confirmation of it, it affects me, one way or another, negatively or positively or whatever the situation may be, right? So like, I didn't want to know I had a fever because if it was really bad, it's going to affect me negatively.
Got it. I understand.
Right? You know? So I was like, all right, I'm going to break down.
So the confirmation
right? Because your brain makes it real.
Got it.
Right? You know how they say your brain makes it real. Okay. So I didn't want to make it really bad if it was really bad or whatever the situation was. So I finally broke down and I took my temperature. And when I finally took it, I was like 102.9 or 102.6 or whatever it was. And I ended up maintaining from like 10, because then your thermometer has a variation of 0.02,
of course,
whatever. And there was some time where I was in that 103 for a while. And that's like, if you're over 103 or you're at 103, you should go to the doctor, whatever. So, you know me, I'm just like, fuck that. I'm just going to ride it.
We're going to ride it out.
We're going to ride it out. But it was crazy because like for probably about 3 days, I was so feverish and I was having like these I don't even know if you can call them fever dreams.
Okay.
But like.
Just like visions?
No, but so it was, cause like I was laying, so I was like laying on the floor. I was sleeping on the floor cause I'm just like, I don't want to put sickness and everything all over because then I have to clean all this and that and whatever, right? So I'm laying on the floor and like I was consistently waking up in the same increments of time, like repeatedly. And then I was also like very, very feverish. So I was very, very sweaty. And every time I wake up, I'd have to piss, which, you know, when you're feeling sick and you're feverish and you're lightheaded, making it to the bathroom is a fucking miracle. Yeah. But the thing is that my body almost went into like this, I don't know, like it like set itself to like this cycle. So like I would wake up in the exact same position and then I would lay down in the exact same position. And then in my mind, like whatever my dream was,
it would pick back up.
It would pick back up where that dream left off, exactly where it left off. But that dream was even on a cycle. So it was the same dream, waking up and going to bed.
You like Groundhog's Day?
Bro,
like
this shit was tripping me out. Like for a legit minute, I was like, did I die? Am I dead? Because I'm not even joking. Like it was the same. I woke up in the same exact position. I would lay down in the same exact position. The dream would pick up in the same position. When I would wake up, I'm waking up at the exact same time, the exact same feeling. And it was all like this weird repetitive. And I don't know if that was like, because my body was so depleted that A, you're getting a little delusion, whatever, but also B, like to protect itself, it's going into like this muscle memory, like
Okay.
easiest. I don't know, but it was so weird.
Survival mode.
Yeah, and it was so weird that it was like it was the same, and the only time that it changed.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Naked and Afraid.
Maybe, man. I don't know. It was so crazy though, man. And the only time it would change was when that fever broke.
Got it.
So I don't know for those 3 days if it was really like that or I was just so feverish.
Got it.
And hallucinating that
this is what you thought it was.
Yeah,
or what it appeared to be.
It was really kind of weird that everything was like exactly the same.
The same. Yeah, nah, I didn't have that. Because honestly, I never did get the fever. I had everything else. I did have chills. I did have the sweats. I had the night sweats and the wake ups, in the middle of the night and have to try to, fumble your way to the bathroom. I did have the dizziness. The fatigue didn't hit me as hard. I have it didn't cripple me. Right. So yes, there were times where I just didn't feel like moving around, but I could. But there are some people that can't get out of bed because it's that heavy, right? So I didn't have the fatigue, but I did have the biggest part of it for me was the chills, because it was like you couldn't. I'm burning up, but then I'm shivering.
Yeah.
And that is like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because I've never really been sick. The flu, I've never had the flu. Those deeper, bigger, kind of sicknesses, I've never really had them. And then once a year I may get this cough that I have now, right? Which is why I was like, that's my normal once a year cough.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
It was definitely interesting. And I think what helped me is I still had somebody to take care of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I still had to be engaged. I still had to be alert. I couldn't just lay on the sofa and just kind of
do nothing. Yeah.
I had to be like, okay, where's the little boy? Where is he? What is he doing? Is he in class? I had to listen to try to make sure I hear what the teacher is saying. So I really had to be engaged.
Be alert.
Be alert and engaged.
I think that does play a difference too, because for me, like obviously I don't have kids and I didn't have anybody to have to look after. But I do think that affected me because I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't moving. Like I was.
Well, because there was one time I said, man, you got to get up. You got to get up and move around, dude.
Yeah. And that was, for real, like that was weird though too, because there was a point in time where I don't think I got up for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, like, I can't say bed sores is the thing, but like there was a point in time because I didn't move, like my back, because I was just like laying down.
Mm-hmm.
My back, for whatever, and it could just be the fever, it could have been the body ache, my back felt so raw that like I couldn't lay on my back anymore. Mm-hmm. So I was just like,
and you're on the floor too, dude.
I was, well, yeah, I like the floor, but
I mean,
yeah, I was literally just on my side because I couldn't lay on my back.
I got you.
And it took a couple days for that to go away.
But did you like touch it to see if it was raw? Yeah, or did it just feel that way?
It felt like it, I don't know, like it felt really raw, but it wasn't raw. I wasn't bleeding, I didn't have sores or anything like that, but it just felt really raw, and it was like at that peak sickness point, but yeah, like even when you were talking about like the chills and stuff, I had chills the Saturday. I was like peak chill, like the whole day and just sweating. And then like after that, it would just hit me randomly for like an hour or two. Like it wasn't, I'd be fine. Like after that Saturday, I started to feel a little bit better. My eyes were still fucked for the longest time, man, like just bad. But like the chills would come on just sporadically, and I'd be, chills for 2 hours, and then I'll be back to normal, and then normal for 5 hours or whatever, and then chills again for 2 hours. Like, that part was kind of irritating me a little bit. But the fatigue, man, the fatigue was real, and I think that was because, like, I wasn't moving around a lot. I wasn't intaking any food, at all. And I was just like, I don't know, like, I was doing everything I can to kind of like spike that energy.
Yeah.
I was doing honey water and stuff like that to kind of get some sugar in me or something. Plus too, like, the weight, I could see the weight was just dropping.
Yeah.
And I felt it, and like, I don't know, like, it was a big depletion of my overall energy. And like, also too, because the fatigue was so real, man, like, I didn't want to move because, like, I would just, like, walking down the stairs, like, I'm walking down the stairs to get more water.
Yeah.
I'd have to take a rest
to get back up the stairs.
Yeah. Because I was just so out of it, and I'm just like, fuck this 2-story house. I just want to shuffle my feet and not have to lift anything. Like, I'm going back up the stairs. I'm stopping halfway through.
Yeah.
On the landing. Yeah. I'm like, am I fucking 90? Like, breathing hard. I'm just like, ugh. And
I mean, honestly, it's been 2021 was a year of revelation for me in so many ways, man. But one of the things I did realize is that just how quickly things can change, right? Just how on a dime, man, your health can shift in such a way, man, that you almost are now dependent.
Yeah.
In a moment's notice.
Yeah. It happens so fast, man.
It's like, what?
Yeah. And this thing, and how long are we going to have these lasting effects, right? So still,
and how many more variants are coming?
Hopefully we have some good antibodies now
that'll withstand the next variant.
I hope so. I mean, that's what I'm hoping, because the lingering effects are real, right? Like, I feel it. Like I said, I feel it in my throat. I still feel it in my voice. I still get winded. I mean, hell, I went upstairs to get my computer and come back down, and I'm just like,
right.
And it's bad because, like, I so desperately want to get back out in the workout routine.
Yeah, right.
But I already know, my gains are gone. I can tell you that right now. It's gonna be starting all over again, and that's gonna be frustrating.
Because you got to retrain that muscle, man.
You got to retrain it all.
The body pulled on everything it had for energy.
Literally.
That's what it did, right? It pulled on everything it had for energy. One of the things that because I did like a virtual visit to a doctor.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, with my wife coming back home, so forth and so on. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing the right things, right? And so I had the virtual visit or whatever, and he said, taking the if I gave you antibiotics, it'll okay, but it's not gonna really help you that much more anyway, because the body just has to run its course, right? And I was like, okay. And he said, you're going to have this acute form of bronchitis. He said, it's going to be an acute bronchitis that you'll have for 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks, after
everything.
After everything. And you still may even test positive, is what he said. And I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah. And that's the thing though, too, right? And what you said is important for people to understand. Like, you are going to have, we're talking months. After
there's some residual
everything
stuff
clears
that clearly we don't even know about yet. Right?
Yeah, that's still gonna be there, and you can still test. And that's the thing, is that people don't understand that the testing positive part, is a lot of not all the tests are set up the same.
Yeah,
and I think that people out there need to understand that is that some tests on the most basic level, they are designed to pick up everything. So you may not be proactively contagious with the virus, but because you had it at some point, and you have the antibodies, it's going to pick it up and you're going to test positive. So you have to be careful. Well, not careful. Make sure you're getting the right test to test for whatever it is that you're trying to. Are you trying to see if you have antibodies? Or are you trying to see if you're actually actively contagious? Right.
Because to be honest, I could have. Okay, Sunday is when I was infected. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the 3 days of greatest transmission.
Yeah. The
podcast on Wednesday. So, had it been longer, had we maybe skipped that week, had that week not been a recording week, he may have not ever gotten it, right?
Right.
Because I would have been out of that phase of transmission. At least that's what they say.
So,
right?
supposedly. But even then, you never know because you carry it on. And I think that's what also scares a lot of people too, is because the information that's out there about the contagious portion and about how long you should quarantine and everything else
they've even decreased that now.
But that's the thing is that me personally, I don't think that that's the best, because if you look at our situation, so you had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and
it happened on Sunday.
Yeah, it happened. On
so
Sunday.
That was Sunday night. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
is really when you're starting to uptick. But even then, if you would have just done your little 5-day thing, whatever, I'm pretty sure I still would. 5 days ain't gonna cut it.
5 days. I was in the heart of it in 5 days.
Exactly. And that's where I feel like, I don't want to say misinformation. I'm not a doctor, or anything like that. But for me, my recommendation is if you have loved ones, you have people that you care about, take as much time as you need to get to a point where you feel safe, because there's no telling. 5 days for me in our situation wouldn't have happened.
No.
For me in 5 days, I was still in the peak of it. And not okay. Even after a week, I was not comfortable. After 2 weeks,
7 days still wasn't enough. Actually,
I was not comfortable, and especially if you're still testing positive, 2 weeks in, or whatever the situation is. And so that's what I said, everybody's different. Everybody goes through it different. Everybody, reacts different. Take the time for whatever you feel is safe, because not everybody's going to be in our situation. Not everybody's going to be able to separate families,
to do what we did,
have whatever. So you want to be as cautious as possible.
And if you need to go to the doctor,
which is another thing too, right? Because a lot of people are not going because they either don't have the best medical coverage, or they're afraid it's going to cost them a lot of money, or man, you cannot put a price on your health, or the health of your loved ones, and you definitely will. God forbid that something bad happens because you didn't go, or you infect someone and they don't have a good outcome. You're gonna wish that price is you can't.
It's too high to pay.
It is very too high to pay. So go, whatever it is. I mean, at the end of the day, man, fuck them bills. Just don't pay it if you don't got no money. No, not here for financial advice. Okay,
this is not that type of
not
podcast.
Here for financial advice at all.
At least not on this episode, right?
Yes, please don't take me. But man, fuck them bills. All right, they're gonna come and they're gonna try to get it from you, man. But
you're gonna have them the rest of your life.
You're gonna have them. Yeah, bills ain't going nowhere. So if you're gonna rack up bills for anything, let it be for your health. But before we go, I do want to tell one more story, and you're laughing
because I'm looking at your face. I don't even know what the story is.
But it may be TMI for everybody out there. But I'm gonna share my story because I want people, especially us as males, to understand. I was terrified for a week and a half. I was terrified for a week and a half because my dick stopped working. Most of us guys, as you know, every morning you wake up, you got a little surprise. You got a little surprise, right? We all know, we all deal with it as men. Real talk, that shit just went away, and I don't know if it's because I had low oxygen levels in my blood.
Your blood flow had to go to other places.
And I was just like, this is just for pissing now. I don't know. I was terrified. I was like, this is just for pissing now. And I was like, if my dick is broke, the next time I see Aaron, I'm just gonna kick him in his dick. I was just
oh man.
But for everybody out there that cares, everything is working fine. We are good.
I have nothing to rebut after that.
I will leave y'all with that story, and I hope that you enjoy. You guys have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah. I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game now. I came here to prove it. I'm ready to do it. I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage.